Thank you.
Oh, this is a homage to how many films?
15.
I definitely spotted American Werewolf.
There's not an original idea in there.
What it is, though, is quintessentially British, and it's charming, and it's funny, and it's horrific as well.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, in the making of it, we had to say, remember the blood. So, like, you get the buckets of blood out, so we're right, yeah.
And for me, this film is it's a wonderful ensemble that it's not as afraid to take the mickey out of the film industry.
No, fucking hell, no. That was the whole thing. I mean, I've been I'm on like a TV set every day, so I knew the little nuances. Even, there's little nods all the way, yeah.
And for you as an actor, acting is reacting. So having a practical person to react, for the actors to react again, that role was really important to you, not to go down the green screen?
Oh, no. I mean, especially working with Sean as well, he's practical all the way, Sean Harrison. And Paula, they just know what they're doing with practical effects, so if you can get it in there, you might be able to augment it with a bit more blood, which is, even then, still it's a composite, it's not like CGI blood. So even Neil that does the CGI, he doesn't want to buy in blood. He wants to get the blood against a green screen. So it's all real. It might be composited on, but he's great.
Was this quite a tough shoot because it was nights and?
Yes, because it was nearly 3 weeks of night shoots. So we tried to work out the schedule so that people had a day off. But on the days that they had off, I had to run up and do Emmerdale. So I had to get a taxi up and do Emmerdale. So I had to turn myself into a nocturnal back to turnal. What's the word? What is the word? You don't know, do you?
No.
Well, neither do I. So yeah. So it's tricky. But at the end of the 3 weeks, that was it. I slept for 2 days straight. So yeah.
And for you, you've made so many films. You're so passionate about filmmaking.
Yeah, it's about horror filmmaking. I'm not interested in any other genre. I love horror films.
And what is it about horror that allows us to maybe explore extremities in our darker side of
like you just said, there's no extremes, or there is an extreme. Sorry. So it's just that there are no. You don't know whether you're going to turn left or right in any film. There is no formula. There's not the boy gets the girl gets the. They fall out and they have to get back together, which is all over American and European film. Horror films do not have to follow any genre. You do not know what the fuck is going to happen next, and I've always loved that in horror, and I always will.
I would imagine when Dominic contacted you to be a part of this film.
Well, it was actually Joe.
Oh, was it Joe? A good producer.
Who's a great friend of mine. We did a wonderful play many, many years ago, and we've remained firm friends ever since. And I've done, I think this is number 3 in his films. It's always an honor to be asked, and I think they are so brave. And horror just happens to be my favorite genre, so I'm always delighted to do something for them.
And what I loved about seeing you, I'm like, Rula Lenska, where was Rula Lenska in the film? And then you were right at the end, that lovely story at the end.
I've seen it.
It's brilliant. I mean, it's one of those parts you just are able to just disappear into and have some fun, I would think.
Oh, that's good to know. I mean, it was just a day's filming, knowing nothing about it apart from the fact that we were on green screen. So that means that you don't actually have any real background. That's all added on afterwards. But, everything in this business is a learning curve, and both Joe and Dom are amazing.
They really are. They're lovely people, aren't they? And I would imagine, obviously Dom's an actor as well, so I imagine he really gets the sensitivity of how to work with actors and actually giving you the freedom to play and to maybe experiment a bit as well.
Absolutely. No, I did do a bit of experimentation and speaking slightly sort of swear words in Polish and stuff like that, which he made me translate. But also, I knew nothing about this. This was one day filming, so I don't know anything about the storyline, I don't know anything about the plot, and I can't wait.
Well, what I loved about this film is that it feels very it's that quintessential British horror.
Yes.
Is that what you saw when you read the script?
Except there's no breasts.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
No breasts. Which is, that's maybe a scintilla of doubt that I have about its credentials. as a quintessential horror film.
Yeah.
What attracted you to the script? Probably working with Dom.
Working with Dom, I love Dom. I mean, anything he sends me, I'm always going to be excited about because, as I was just saying, I love his enthusiasm for this genre, and yeah, it's fun. I mean, it is fun. It is a quintessential British horror. There's something about it that's just it really doesn't take itself too seriously, and I really like that. There's no pretension.
I think it's got a bit of heart in it as well, hasn't it? Because the protagonist, is an interesting character in himself, regardless of the situation that he's in. An elderly actor at the end of his career, revisiting his earlier triumphs for a last time. I think James Fleet plays it so beautifully, that mixture of pathos and humour and seriousness, and I think that's a real big part of its strength for film.
One of the strengths for me as well is it feels a real ensemble piece. Everybody, I mean, I've just seen you all talking together. There must have been. It feels like you were all cohesive and really wanting to make it work.
I mean, that's probably because we didn't have any caravans to go off in.
Yeah, no
so
trailers.
Everyone had to sit around, together.
Yeah, you had no choice. The camaraderie was forced. No, it was great. It was great, and it was a lovely. And Dom and Joe and the guys always create that sense on set. It's very much a team effort. There's no sense of the actors and then the crew. It's like everyone's in it together. Everyone mucks in. It's a really nice atmosphere and environment because of that, I think.
And I love the way that we work really fast as well.
Yeah.
2 weeks shoot. Low budget, 2 weeks shoot. But I think the quality of the production shows you that sort of method really is effective.
Exactly. And the other thing as well, because acting is reacting, for you to have the beast, for want of a better way to call it, to react off as well, how did that kind of help you with your performances, really?
Yeah, no, it does. It makes it a lot easier, to have a beast. Yeah.
Except the beast.
Except the beast, when they're not rolling, he's making comments which are not beast-like,
Or he's just standing there with his coffee and some hand warmers or something, smoking a fag, and you're like, hang on a second.
He had to have a nicotine spray, didn't he? Because he couldn't smoke. Poor fellow, saying things like, I can't do bemused very easily in this costume, He's a bit limited, he felt, And
I suppose really just to finalise, what kind of have you taken away with you from being a part of the film?
Well, I suppose it's as I'm always impressed with Dom, is the speed, as Steve said, the speed that he works at, and how much can be achieved with limited budget, limited resources, but a lot of enthusiasm and a lot of heart, and it makes me think about making my own films in that regard.
That's fantastic.
What's this?
See you.
Space.
And for you, what was it?
What did I take away? I don't know. I took away a few quid.
Always helps for an actor.
I've,
Only a few.
I took away. I thought, acting's quite good fun, really. I suppose.
It's all right.
It's not bad. Yeah.
You all got a bit of a sweat on in this film as well, I imagine. It was a scary time.
Yeah, there were some scary moments, and there's, I think, hopefully some very funny moments as well. But yeah, it was the makeup was incredible. The werewolf looks amazing, and we had some very capable people around. And I think Dominic and Joe put the most, wonderful company of people together, and we had a really creative time. And I'm really excited to see it. It always feels like a celebration when we work. A lot of the time you're thinking, oh my God, when am I going to work again? So when we all get together, and when it was such a nice creative group, it was like, this is just going to be amazing, and it was. And it felt like a family, really. And it was quite low budget, so we were all literally, virtually living together, some of us, and driving ourselves in the morning, and it felt like proper kind of filmmaking, really. And I like working like that. It feels a bit looser, and we all got on really well very quickly. So, yeah, it was a blessed time, and I'm excited. It's great we're celebrating again tonight,
Absolutely. And, with Dom being an actor as well as a director, I imagine, he gets what it's like. And so you can trust him because he trusts you. There's a real sort of collaboration.
Yeah, you feel very comfortable with Dom because he gets it. He gets what it's like to be in your shoes as an actor, and you can say if you don't feel comfortable with a line and you're just like, I can't actually say this with without it sounding weird or whatever, can I just tweak it slightly, or can I do that? And he's very accommodating for that. And yeah.
I think what was interesting as well with the film, because we do get to see the monsters, there's always that discussion, isn't there, whether to show or not to show. But for you as actors, that opportunity really to react viscerally to something, I imagine is really helpful.
Yeah, it was. It was. I mean, as I said, the makeup was incredible, and the creation of the werewolf is, as everybody will see, is on another level. And these people are right at the top of their game and very talented. And yeah, it certainly helps. I mean, it was terrifying, really, wasn't it, at times, or it was terrifying enough to make it very easy for us to react.
And also, it's not scared to laugh at it itself. It is funny. It's got that sort of quintessential British humour.
Yeah. It's funny. That's my kind of favourite horror and comedy mixed together. It's not taking itself too seriously, and hopefully it will make people laugh, as well as hopefully some people will jump. But I don't know if that will happen. I'm not really a jumper, so I won't jump. But I do need the laughs, so hopefully I'll go before the film. Otherwise, I might just wee myself. Even if people are scared.
And it's not scared to laugh at itself, at the film industry, and how farcical it can be sometimes as well. It kind of holds a mirror up to that, doesn't it?
I couldn't agree more. I think that's it's very, very funny for that reason. And it's fun. I mean, you're playing a hapless director in my case, and once your ego gets over hapless, what's that got to do with me? We got stuck in. It was such fun, and a very creative group of people came together. And from Equity's point of view, we were glued together, as Thaila said earlier, by James Fleet, who's just wonderful, such a lovely, warm human being, and such a generous actor. And I think that was a chance to learn as well as do work, for us.
And do you think as well, because you're working at this independent level, you're just in it because you're all in it together as a group to create something?
Yeah, it's just great to be creative and just do so. We've had such a couple of crap years with COVID, and it was just so nice to all be together in this environment creating something, and it's got to be done, and everybody's staying up late to get something shot, and there's only like a 2-week window to shoot this film, and I think everyone stepped up and just did what we all could.
You're the brave one that's been left on their own. Everybody else.
I'm all on my own. I haven't got anyone to bounce off. I'm like, help me out. It's not happening.
Well, there were plenty of people to bounce off in this film. It felt like a real great ensemble.
Oh, absolutely. To play a character who's part of a film crew as an actor on a film set, it was very surreal. But it was actually one of the things that drew me to the script. Owen, the character, is very much not like me as a person. He's a bit of a stoner. He's a bit relaxed. He's one of those effects guys you get on a set that doesn't really care about the project he's on. He's just on the payroll, and that was quite interesting. And then you've got, as the effects guy, working with the lead actor in the film, which was obviously James Fleet as well. Working with James Fleet was absolutely phenomenal. Comedy legend, really, in England. And to have that contrast, annoying him on set as the character was a privilege. It was a privilege, and I loved every second of it. And I'm so gutted he's not here today.
Well, no, because
wind him up.
I was going to say, because all of you look like you got on incredibly well. It feels like a family.
Oh, absolutely. As far as movies go, they were night shoots at a manor, minimal cast, minimal crew, creating, and I think that's all part of the indie market. We're creatives. We love creating. Pete, come here. Can you see him? Can you turn him round? No, it's all right. Don't worry about it. So Pete, who was one of the writers, he's got such a great vision, and using Dominic Brunt to help bring that vision to life was so wonderful to see, from script to screen. And being a part of that and being in FrightFest, absolute honour and privilege.
And Dom as well, he loves horror, doesn't he?
Oh, he absolutely does. And one of the things that I really liked about this one is that a lot of traditional horrors that are written like from many years ago. They've brought a lot of elements of that back into filming now, and I loved every second of that.
I think what made a difference as well is that we do get to see the monster, and it's not CGI'd. It's old school practical effects.
Absolutely no CGI, and it's brilliant. And it reminds me of the times of films like Gremlins when I grew up, and you got Labyrinth with David Bowie and all of the creatures, and it's such a wonderful experience to be on set with real things and to react with real things, especially as an actor. You're not faking like talking to something.
You've actually got something to react against.
Absolutely, yeah.
What will you have taken away with you from making the film?
What am I taking away with me?
Yeah, just a memory.
There's so many. It's hard to list. Working with a great real crew, working with a very close indie film crew. The actors, Sade Malone, who can't be here today. She's an amazing up-and-coming actress, sharing scenes with her. James Fleet, who can't be here today, sharing scenes with him. Phenomenal actors, and just creating this movie, which we're about to now go and see. Absolutely, too many great memories.
I want to know what inspired you to write this.
Well, I've been a massive horror fan all my life. So when Pete said, let's do a film, I wanted to put in all the old classic horrors, the Hammers and Universal, and mix it with all the slashers and the 80s gore, and put it together, and we wanted to do practical effects. So if we could get Sean in, that'd be brilliant, get the proper werewolf and that. And instead of having like the boring normal characters, we could have the old Oliver Real style pisshead as the main character, just to make it a bit different, to have like a real bastard as a hero for a change.
And I definitely saw American Werewolf in London. There's a real homage to that in there.
Oh, definitely, yeah. There's at least 3 or 4. Well, it's a masterpiece. So that and The Howling are like 2 of the best films ever. So yeah, we had to put some homages to that. So yeah.
What's great about this film as well is it's all set around a film set. So can you elaborate a little bit more to us about kind of like the circumstances these filmmakers find themselves in?
Well, basically, because we're making a terrible film and they've just gone over budget, and the main star's been such I don't want to swear on the camera, but yeah, such a bad person that they've had to go over budget, and then they're all stuck there, but there's hardly anyone left because everyone else just sacks it all in, and that's when all the trouble begins. Yeah.
And obviously it's a horror, there's scares, of course, but there's great British humour. I mean, you've already said it's a homage, but we do need those laughs to break up the gore as well.
Well, I always think if there's no funny bits in, then it's all too serious. People laugh at something in any case, so they might as well make them laugh at something else and then put the horrors in, and it's not too serious a film. So I was getting a bit fed up with serious, because the first film I'd done, Pandora, was really serious with chopped up women and all this, and I thought, with the pandemic and everything else going on, I wanted to make something a bit lighter, but still gory and, everything else. But yeah.
He's definitely got that. And then you got Dom at the helm as well. What was it like collaborating with him?
Well, he's the master, isn't he? Because when Pete said, can we get Dom, I said, I've seen all of his films, like at the festivals, and all his shorts and everything, so I said, and he does all different styles, like Evie's totally different to the Attack of the Adult Babies and everything, so I said he'll probably fancy it, With our script, he can do pretty much what he wants with it. It's good for directors and actors because there's a lot of scope for suspense and all this. So, yeah.
So, all in all, it's been a really good experience for you working on the film.
Oh, I loved it. It was brilliant. I mean, I didn't do much when I was on the set because it's all the experts. I was just thinking.
You've done your job.
Yeah, so it's just a holiday for me then. So, yeah, brilliant. Yeah.